Hiya guys, my name is Rowlands. I'm a friend of Stefan, and he's asked me to make a video about my experience, my story, what I've been through. It seems like I've been through a lot of similar stuff to what Stefan has, and there's a lot of information out there, in my opinion a lot of bad information. There's a lot of good information out there, but you've got to look in the right places, you've got to find the right teachers. And I'm one of the fortunate ones that have actually overcome a lot of the bad issues that Stefan talks about. We're talking derealisation, depersonalisation, visual snow, depression, anxiety, chronic fatigue. I must have had maybe 20 to 30 different symptoms, and I'm happy to say I've managed to pretty much deal with all of them. The only thing that I have got is a little bit of visual snow at night time, but if I stick to the kind of program that I do, it's not really a problem for me at all. So when I was 15, I had a good upbringing. I probably should notice that I ate really terrible food. I used to have maybe 3 ready meals a day, half a loaf of bread, and I did a lot of exercise. I was a really kind of outgoing, popular kid when I was younger, and everyone kind of knew me, and I did a lot of exercises and played a lot of football. But all in all, when I was a kid, I kind of run myself ragged a little bit. I played professional football. I played football 3-4 times a week. I was always out playing, which normal kids do that, you know. Obviously, I'm not going to say don't do that, but the diet for me was a real big thing, and I think that's a massive thing for a lot of people. A lot of people these days just have the worst diets, living on ready meals and chocolate and bread, and because it's on the supermarket shelf and because your parents feed it to you, you kind of don't question it. You think it's all right, but in my health journey, I've definitely realised that diet is one of the most important, if not the most important things to healing not only the problems that I had, but I would say a hell of a lot of problems. You don't really understand how many problems. So when I was around 14, I had a really stressful period in my life, and I think a lot of people that have had visual snow or depersonalisation or derealisation or chronic fatigue or anything like that will kind of have a similar story where their problems seem to stem from a time in their life where they had some massive stressful situations. Looking back on it now, it was just kind of it got to a threshold where the plank, it was bending and it just kind of snapped. And your body does a really good job of keeping itself going. I think I heard someone say that your liver can be like 2/3 killed off or 2/3 not working, and your body kind of still does a good job at kind of looking after itself. And I think this is one of the reasons why you hear a lot of people go through life and they've got no problems, but all of a sudden they get a really serious illness or something that happens to them really bad, and everyone's kind of like, they don't understand it because they've had a good life, or they've ate well and they've done this and they've done that, or they've exercised, and all of a sudden they get something that's really bad. In my opinion, I just think that the bodies actually were not doing very well at all underneath, although on the outside they came across as doing pretty well. But in reality, it was really struggling and pushing itself along, and in the end it just kind of snapped. It couldn't handle it anymore, and it just crashed really. And the tests I do, we can kind of see trends in this happening. A lot of people, for example, the metabolism speeds up and they go into faster oxidation, which means that the body's overstressed, but it's kind of handling it in a way where it's overexerting itself, and after a while it just moves into slow oxidation, and around 85% of the people these days are actually in slow oxidation. And slow oxidation is basically when your body's burnt out of all its resources and it can't handle it anymore, and it goes into a slow metabolism, and that's how it learns to deal with life. So anyway, when I was about 14, I had a stressful situation. Like I said, I split up with a girlfriend, and I started work at a hotel. It was a bit of a shock to me because I don't want to sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet, but you know, I was a really high achiever at school, and I got really high grades in pretty much all my lessons. I was lucky that I didn't really have to revise too much when I was that age. So life for me was kind of sugar-coated a lot, and I was put on a pedestal quite a lot by my family and peers and stuff, and I was always expected to achieve well and get good grades. And my idea of life was that it was going to be simple, and I was going to be, I wouldn't have a problem through life. Life is great, I'm always going to be enjoying myself, and I'm always going to be doing this. I'm always going to be kind of proving to people how good I was, etc., etc. And when I was 15, I got a job at a restaurant, and I think it was the first time I realised that the world doesn't lay down to me, and I've got to put in effort, and I'm at the bottom of the line, and I don't know what to do, and it really stressed me out. It really got to me a lot. I remember I was working 20, 30 hours part-time while I was still at school, and around 14, 15, 16, that's when a lot of my friends, a lot of peers, and a lot of people in general start drinking a lot, start getting in with different crowds. I started drinking, I started taking drugs, I started smoking. And it all stemmed down to really not really understanding the world, kind of feeling a little bit strange, thinking, is this it? Is this what life's all about? I've gone from being this high achieving 14, 15-year-old with a world at my feet, and kind of going into a job, and it just didn't make sense. I didn't understand whether this was life or what was actually going off, and I turned to drugs and alcohol a little bit to kind of put my mind at ease. Unbeknownst to me, that my body at that age was in a bad state, although a lot of people wouldn't recognise. I could work, I could play a football match, I could go out, could go drinking, partying. I was, quite a popular lad. I took good care of myself. But kind of, I started getting strange symptoms. For a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, I started getting brain fog, which I didn't understand at the time. I started feeling really tired. I started feeling like a buzzing sensation in my body, like as if Red Bull was kind of pulsing through my veins. It was a strange sensation. I felt detached. I felt like a clouded mind, like foggy eyes, and I didn't understand what it was at the time, and I thought it was depression. And I remember having panic attacks at night, thinking, I'm never going to get out. I'm never going to get away from this. I'm never going to be able to get over this horrible feeling that I've got. But I didn't have any answers. This is the problem. I didn't have no answers whatsoever. And I just thought it was depression. So I was trying to pull myself out of it. I was trying to strive. I was trying to do more work. I was trying to do more exercise. I was trying to do more partying, more engagement with friends, achieving more. And in actual fact, that was just burning me out even more. And this is a lot of problem these days when people have depression, or they feel bad, or they've got depersonalisation or anything like that. They need to realise that what they've really got is burnout. They're in burnout, they're in adrenal burnout, and the body's hungry for nutrients. It's malnourished, and it just can't handle it anymore. One of the reasons why people get depression is because the body can't keep up. So depression is a way for the body to slow itself down. That's why people feel tired a lot of the time. That's why people feel down. They don't want to do much. in actual fact, it's the body's way of saying, I can't handle it, I can't do this anymore. But because it's a mental thing, depression, it affects the mind. A lot of people think that it's actually them. And in a way it is them, because their thoughts and their childhood patterns and their experiences when they were younger kind of brought this on, kind of made them become the person they are. And that you can look at how your parents acted around you, and how you got loved when you were younger, and different things kind of set the stones for how you are and how you approach life as you get a little bit older. So anyway, yeah, I'm a 14, 15-year-old, severe depression. Not really what I was expecting. But I didn't want to tell anyone about it. I was naive. I didn't really know what was going on. I thought, because I was that type of person where I always achieved and did a lot and was expecting people to see highly of me, it was embarrassing for me to kind of say anything like that. It was embarrassing for me to pull myself off that pedestal that I'd kind of made for myself. So I kind of went on. I remember, actually, one of the reasons why I talked to Stefan is that I had acne when I was around 15, 16. And a lot of the people don't realise that acne is actually brought on by poor nutrition, bad hormones all over the place. People shouldn't really get depression if the human body is well nourished. Acne doesn't really occur. But I thought acne was the problem, why I was feeling depressed. I started getting really self-conscious about my appearance. And I ended up getting Accutane. And Accutane is a steroid drug, and it's a pure form of vitamin A, and it seems to do a hell of a lot of problems for people. And I would not recommend it whatsoever if you're planning on taking Accutane. Please stay away from it. It's a really toxic, terrible drug. So anyway, I took Accutane, and yeah, the spots cleared up, but I just got worse, more depression, more detachment, more derealization, skin problems, candida, a buzzing sensation in my body, headaches, visual snow, which is an interesting problem people get, visual snow. I know a lot of people have got visual snow, and I think people with visual snow need to realise that they only seem to focus on visual snow, which is what I did. I thought visual snow was the main problem, was the big thing, but if you actually talk to a lot of people that have got visual snow and you ask a few questions, they have got anxiety, they have got fatigue, they have got depression, they have got skin conditions, they've got other problems, not just relating to visual snow, and these problems can be fixed. These problems 100% can be fixed. There've been studies and case studies time and time again that burnout can be fixed, skin problems can be fixed by diet, nutrition, supplements, detox, meditation. So I urge everyone that's got visual snow to please try not to focus on the visual snow, focus on healing the burnout, which is the main thing. And by healing the burnout, you will start to heal the visual snow, I promise you. Once you get the heavy metals out of your system and you start relaxing the muscles, you will start to heal visual snow. So this kind of went on till I was around 21, and I started to isolate myself. University life was an absolute mess. I couldn't connect with anyone. I was suicidal at times. I'd been to a few doctors. They kind of sent me to psychiatrists, like most doctors do, or most people do when they go in and complaining about adrenal fatigue or visual snow or whatever. It's just not heard of in the medical industry. It's really not heard of. A lot of people need to realise that the brain is a chemical organ. It's part of the body. It's part of the human system. It thrives off nutrients. It thrives off a supple body. What's the main ingredient in depression tablets? Lithium. Lithium's one of the main minerals in green leaves and broccoli and sprouts and spinach. But doctors never give you information about nutrition. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Our bodies are designed to eat certain foods. It's like, it's just logical. Anyone that kind of thinks that diet is not unimportant and a drug is going to fix your problems, if you don't understand that, then you're never going to, I can't help you. Nobody can really help you, unfortunately. So anyway, around 21, I came across a article online called Brain Fog, and that kind of switched on a light bulb in my mind, because I'd never kind of understood what were going off. I didn't really want to tell my family or parents, because the doctors didn't know what was going off. I didn't really know what was going off, so I didn't really want to tell anyone. And I read this article, and it was like a eureka moment. And it was talking about how brain fog is a lot of it's related to nutrition, and a lot of it's related to candida, and a lot of it's related to adrenal burnout, and a lot of copper toxicity, mercury toxicity, aluminium toxicity. All these heavy metals are absolutely rife in today's society. I've actually not seen one test that we provide that where someone hasn't got an aluminium toxicity. One of the symptoms a lot of people get who've on Accutane or visual snow or anything like that is forgetfulness. Aluminium is one of the main minerals that causes forgetfulness. I used to have terrible forgetfulness. I couldn't remember anything. As soon as my aluminium came down, my brain started working again. So anyway, straight away, I'm one of them people, obsessive compulsive, like a lot of people who've got visual snow, a lot of people who've got depression. They seem to be obsessive compulsive, they seem to be overachievers, they seem to be in fight or flight mode, they seem to be sympathetic dominant. Which is a good thing sometimes, because it means that you've got goodwill, and you've got a goodwill to change and a goodwill to be different. So anyway, I started straight away on the diet program, and I cut out sugars, and I went cold turkey, and I bought some recommended supplements. First off, I'll just mention the supplements. I got the supplements, I took the supplements, and that was the first time in 6 years where my brain fog lifted. It cleared, and it was as if someone had opened some curtains, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a physical problem. This is not a mental problem. I've been sat here for 6 years worrying, thinking that I'm going crazy over this foggy mind, thinking that I'm just not thinking straight, thinking that I just can't connect in social situations, thinking that I'm socially inept. And I take these vitamins, these minerals, the human body is made up of minerals, not drugs. I took minerals, and the brain fog lifted. Unbelievable. So I was obviously super excited, and kind of thought that this was going to take all my problems away, and it didn't, but I'll come on to that a little bit later on. But anyway, I went cold turkey, and I stopped eating sugars, and I was shaking for 2 weeks, couldn't sleep for 2 weeks, having hot sweats for 2 weeks. At the end of the day, people are toxic. Your body is not working properly. Your adrenal glands are weak, your liver's toxic, your kidneys don't work properly, the mind, the brain, blood barrier is not working, the pituitary gland, the circulation, it's just not working properly. Your body is like a big, thick, toxic bag of sand. And at the end of the day, you've got to realise what goes in must come out, or must change. Your body, it's holding on to all these toxins, and it's got to come out. And one of the main complaints that I get from people when I give advice or give nutritional advice, or we get on the program, the detox program, is, I feel worse, I'm feeling more fatigued, I'm getting more brain fog, I'm getting this, I'm getting that. Yes, you are going to feel these problems, and I can understand why it's going to put you off. It nearly put me off. it wasn't all plain sailing for me. It was literally 2 steps forwards, 1 step back all the time. But I learned to realise that the toxins have to come out of this. One thing, the toxins have got to come out. When the toxins are in the blood, you're going to feel rubbish. Your body's going to want to heal. It wants to get rid of it, so it's gonna tire you out. It's using its energy to heal. It's using its energy to get the toxins out of your system. That's one thing that you've really got to drill into your mind, that you're not going to be feeling 100% all the time. That is not going to happen. And another thing, that it takes a long time to heal. You know, your body has billions and billions of cells, and it has over 100 minerals that it has to replace. I read one article, and it takes up to, I think it's either 1 or 2 years just to replace one article. I've been on the program now for nearly 5 years, and although I've overcome a hell of a lot, I've been through a hell of a lot as well. I have days where I've been in bed all day. There's days where I've been detoxing copper and just cannot sleep. My mind's crazy. There's days where it feels like I've been unlocked from jail, where I've like come out of a daydream, and it's like it's intense. There's been days where I've had strange spiritual connections, which I never thought would happen. There's been days when I have wanted to cry. There's been days where I've wanted to laugh all day. I never ever thought I would ever be able to get a girlfriend. I had terrible times with girls because it just felt awkward and I couldn't connect. And now I've got a girlfriend. Like, there's a lot of people on the internet and I've spoke to, and I was saying, how can you get a girlfriend? How can you do this? How can you do that? But I have, and it's literally because my brain is working properly, because it's now being fed with the right nutrients. I'm doing the right lifestyle changes. I'm doing the right detox methods. I'm eating the correct supplements. So started on the program, and like I was saying, I thought that was going to heal straight away. Just to tell you, my first test that I did, and what we do is hair mineral analysis. And I know hair mineral analysis is a bit of an airy-fairy term on the internet, and I can't explain to you how good it is. If you're with the right people, that is the main thing. There's a lot of people out there who do hair mineral analysis and they cannot read the charts. They see high manganese or high calcium, and they literally see it as it is. Oh, I've got high calcium. I haven't got copper toxicity because my copper's low. That is so untrue. That is, you need to be in touch with people that understand how to read these tests properly. Because if you don't, you're going to get the wrong information. You could make it worse. So please, please, please find a practitioner. We do hair analysis. My website is www.life.net, and life is spelled LIFE.net. I know it's a strange name. We tried to be quirky. But anyway, go to another website, drlwilson.com. He is the only person that I can recommend that does the hair test and talks about the hair tests properly. There's no other people that do it well. A lot of people wash the hair at the laboratory and it's no good. It skews the results, and this is why hair mineral analysis gets a bad name for itself sometimes. It's because of these people that can't read the tests properly, these people that wash the hair samples at the laboratory, and it creates bad results. So I thought that I'd found the Rosetta Stone, which I had done. But like most people today, they always wanting the quick fix. They're always wanting the pill that's going to sort them out. They're always hoping that they're going to find this amazing program, this 7-week detox, or burn fat in 10 days, and all this bull kind of rubbish that's on the internet that just doesn't work whatsoever. Stop thinking that a pill is going to sort you out. It is not. Please, it is not going to sort you out. Yeah, it might make you feel temporarily better, but you're masking the root problems. Seriously, you're masking the root problems. the body is so deep with layers of problems, with emotional things that affect you, with toxins, with infections that haven't healed, chronic infections. These things take time to heal, and the only way you can heal it is by creating an environment which is healthy, which kills these things. When you've got a flower, for example, that's dying, you don't fix the flower, you fix the environment, and that's the most important thing to think about. You have to fix the environment. And how do you fix the environment of a human being? You feed it well. You make sure it sleeps properly. Make sure it sleeps 8 to 10 hours like it should do. You make sure it's in line with the circadian rhythm. You're not going to bed after 10:30 at night when the sympathetic nervous system kicks in. You're drinking water. You're not drinking Coca-Cola. You're not drinking Lucozade. You're drinking good quality fresh spring water. Unfortunately, because we are so toxic, I don't think that's eating a diet and changing lifestyle is going to make you 100%, or it's going to take a hell of a long time to do so, because people are just so toxic, so polluted. I recommend different detox protocols like infrared saunas to sweat to get the toxins out, to improve the circulation. I recommend coffee enemas. Yes, I know that sounds horrible, but it's an absolute godsend. I know a lot of people that were ready to commit suicide, and I got them to do enemas, and it changed their whole life around. The enemas allows you to remove toxins from the bile, from the intestines, remove toxins from the liver, and it's really relaxing as well. We recommend supplements. I know people are against supplements now, but it just gives that extra bit of minerals to push your body along. I've done the program that I do 100%, and I'm feeling better, but there's just something missing. As soon as I take the supplements, it just gives it that extra kick just to push me through and get them toxins out of my system. So anyway, I started the program, and after a few weeks, I started to feel really, really, really tired, and I thought it wasn't working, but in actual fact, it was working perfectly. I was re-nourishing my body, and my body wanted to heal, it wanted to rest. I was in extreme burnout underneath, although my body did a good job at keeping itself going, and we call that sympathetic dominance, fight or flight mode. People can keep themselves going. Underneath, the body is just grinding its gears and spinning its wheels. And once you pull away the scaffolding, because your body kind of makes like a scaffolding around itself like a building, once you pull that away, the building kind of collapses. But this time, instead of building the building with cardboard and piece of rock and sellotape and crap, you're building it brick by brick. You're building a proper structure and a proper footing to really kind of give your body what it needs. Now, this causes a lot of problems, obviously, because I lost a lot of weight, because I was eating vegetables and I wasn't eating high carbohydrate diet. So a lot of my family and friends kind of were worrying about me. This is one thing you got to get over, the family and friends problem. What else were we doing? I was, just feeling really, really tired all of a sudden.